It's one episode? All right, well, good. Okay, you know what? Let's go talk about this episode real quick. Let's go talk about this episode real quick. My God, because my God, I mean, first of all, actually know what you know what we'll stay with the reactions channel for just a little bit longer, just for the sake of at least letting the peeps here on the side share what they want to share in the Discord chat, because I know some of them don't talk, but some of them will at least write down the things they want to say. Um, Let me just leave the call first, real quick. There we go. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. Man, whoo! Woo. You say that, but like the issue with this one being a 3v3 in one episode is that looking from how things are being handled at the beginning of the preview, we got in like Ash getting to that area first, meeting up with Raihan, and then establishing the fight. I mean, that's why the B fight, even though I'm not like a super big fan of it, was still, in my opinion, one of the betters, because of it. Ashby Volkner was aight, but it wasn't really. Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see. I just feel for something that's such a big impact in regards to it being Ash's journey towards the Masters 8. This is supposed to be a big deal, isn't it? Like, this is his moment to shine, to show the world he is now really capable of being seen as one of the top eights. Like, just a 3v3 is fine, but if you're gonna just make it one part, you better make sure the fight is structured properly. The reason why I wasn't such a big fan of that Ash and Volkner fight is because really Lucario was the one that came in and just smacked everybody in the face and knocked them out, leaving Pikachu to come out at the end of that episode, to come out with that win. It's like there are good aspects, but it never gets the opportunity to flourish and really show off more of what that potential has in those episodes that could benefit from just a little bit more time. Hell, even I like to say like for the two-parters, you could at least have some of the moments of the episodes focus on like just the getting to the area, getting the characters established and entering the arena, and then the first half of that first episode would be the fight, or the second half, I mean, of that first episode would be the fight, and then concluding towards the second episode. But given that we are in the climax of the series, I guess they want to make sure they get as much as out of the way. Well, not out of the way, but as much as done possible, because we are now months away from this story coming to a conclusion. This is the final year of Journeys before whatever the next adventure Ash might potentially find himself in occurs, since Scarlet and Violet is going to be something we have to keep our eyes peeled on for. So yeah. But to get to the episode at hand, though, to really just talk about this episode, there is an interesting thing, like with the concept. But let me go back. Actually, let me go back to the talking with chat in general. I liked it. Let me be clear. I liked certain aspects about this episode. I think there were things about this episode that I visually enjoyed. I really liked the Greninja and Lucario moments when they spoke with each other with the waves. And then that little teeny tiny jump scare with like the root just coming out from behind Ash and goes back. I thought that was kind of actually pretty neat there. Um, there were things about this episode I liked. And also, I think my favorite thing about this episode was establishing one major aspect. Keeping Greninja like an absolute badass, just saying to Lucario, you're leagues. You are no like we are leagues apart, bro. We are nowhere alike. We are like I'm up here and you're down here in terms of scales, bro. Like that's the funniest thing to me because you see Greninja, he doesn't even break a sweat in that fight, bro. He just simply is like, let me just dodge this way, let me go this way, let me just smack him in the back like that. Like, good job, buddy. Yeah, you tried, buddy. Good job on you. But maybe next time you'll do better. Like I really like that little moment there because it just something about Greninja doing that shit was so weird. But I don't know, man. Like I felt like with Greninja, something about the way he was introduced into the episode and what they had to do with him to like move this episode forward, I felt was like the weirdest thing about it. Because you know what it is? Greninja in this episode, despite knowing it's Ash's Pokemon, there were moments in this episode that made it feel like it's just a random Greninja rather than Ash's Greninja. You know what I mean? Like, it just... Greninja was just sort of there to be there. And he really didn't contribute all that much to the overall narrative except for that one big moment at the end to teach the bond between like synchronizing with the waves or whatnot. But that's like really it. We never got to see any sort of like anything outside of that. I feel like I don't know. There's something missing, but I just can't seem to quite put my finger on it. Does anybody understand what I'm trying to say with this here? There's something about Greninja in this episode that, yes, I know it's Ash's Greninja, but there's something that just feels so distant in terms of the trainer and the Pokemon. But yet they still are friends or something. It's weird. I just felt like something about this episode just kind of felt a little off-putting, but... For the most part, I still, did Greninja and Pikachu even say hi to each other? That's a good question. Did Greninja and Pikachu even say hi, bro? Like, all of the times that Ash has seen his Pokemon come back, or, like, Pikachu would interact with companions there, I thought that would be, that would be like a reunion between mods, bro. Good lord. Good. Yeah. I'm not sure what to think, chat. You know what? I'll take a second right now to just simply say I really liked certain moments in this episode. But that's also because I like seeing a little bit of chaos go down. So seeing Greninja smack the shit out of Lucario, I think was probably one of the highlights of this episode. But like, Greninja, he was here. He gave that one lesson and then just was like, all right, I'm out. Where was the chemistry, bro? Where was the bond phenomenon, bro? I felt no bond and I felt no phenomenon in this episode, bro. Put your foot in the water, training complete. Hell yeah, that's how the ninjas did it in Naruto, Tyrone. I mean, good lord. You could tell how angry Zach's gonna be. I don't know, maybe Zach will really enjoy this episode, maybe not. Everybody has their personal taste. Like I said, there are things I liked about this episode, but really, in all honesty, I believe that they missed out on certain beats that really would help make this episode just be better. But they went with they reused a well, no, I shouldn't say reused, but just overall, this was just an episode. And also, this isn't just any episode. This was the episode that's supposed to be helping Ash get into the Master's Aid. Okay, this just be clear. This is the episode that's supposed to help Ash get into the Master's Aid. Okay, this episode here, we had to whack weeds and talk in water with waves, and you are in. Oh shit, my man. Oh lordy. Okay, I'm gonna go and hop into the stage right now. I know my boys are gonna be speaking, and Emmy, of course, and I need to gladly hear their input. Tyrone, I would like to ask you, if possible, to allow Emmy to share her input first, because I know you will probably go on a 6 hour tangent. So I would like, if you would don't mind, given that Emmy's taking the stage with this one, to just let her go first, and then we'll hear from you, buddy. Because I know you, being the X and Y standard you are, will have things to say. So I'm gonna hop into the call now, and we're gonna go and take care of things at the moment. All right.
I'm sad, man.
Oh man,
I'm
I'm
mad,
sad to.
bro.
Yeah.
Good lord, there you go. I just hopped into the call, and the first thing I heard is, "I'm sad, man. What the hell?"
I'm not.
Hold on,
not even gonna,
let me get into. Here we go.
I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna be super long. Believe it or not. I'm just. I'm gonna save most of mine for the pod, but like I had to come in here and say something. Man, this was doo doo, bro. Emmy, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I
Yeah.
shared my input. I got what I wanted to say. I feel, but Evie, I need to hear from you, buddy. Like I, especially seeing the Discord chat
Yeah.
responses throughout the episode, I was like keeping my eye on that, and I was really wondering what people were excited on the most and what people were feeling at the end of the episode. But Emmy, what's
Yeah.
your take about this? Just judging from the title of the stage, which is
Yeah.
dot
Just
dot
dots.
dot 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 dot.
dot dot. Yes. I'm sad. I'm mad. I don't know. I'm just frustrated, and I'm just so sick and tired of Journeys doing this nonsense. Like, first of all, okay, I wrote some things down because in my whole thing, I'm like, all right, I mean, calm down. Just write some notes down, so at least you don't sound like an idiot who's just really mad for no reason. All right. So first of all, why was Go and Ash here? They really, to be honest, like, is Ash really needed in this episode? No, because he has no bond with this Pokemon whatsoever. His team is just there for show. It's just there for the opening. Wow, they're so strong. Yeah, totally right. I wish they had a bond to actually prove it. Oh my god. Like, if they weren't here, I wouldn't notice. And then, like, I would care more about this episode if Ash and Lucario actually had a bond. I already think I just said that. But I just want to reiterate, because they have no chemistry. Let's be honest. And this entire episode, they were really just teasing that Ash Greninja thing, but just through Lucario and Ash. Like, they have some big bond supposed to be important here, and they're just trying to be like them. And it's like, no, this is completely different. I just felt like Greninja was getting shafted to the side. Like, yeah, okay, like, I agree with you. In terms of the whole, like, Greninja was, like, very strong in this episode. Like, at least he kept that character to himself. But to be even his personality, I barely saw it here. He was just kind of just seen as, like, the big boss that you fight at the end of, like, a game or something like that. Like, no personality, nothing. Like you said, he didn't talk to Pikachu. He didn't even... Ash didn't even say, hi, how are you? How's it going? I haven't seen you in 5 years. It was just like, yeah, so let's fight. All right, let's do that. And the whole quote-unquote training with Greninja and Lucario, did they really just channel the Wii Fit trainer for 30 seconds by standing in that damn water? Like, did they actually just do that? Oh my god, those freaking, like, the aura bonding, whatever that was. I'm just like,
They just took
oh
a
my
foot
god,
bath. That's what it was.
they literally just did. It was, you know, the training exercises in Wii Fit, where it's like
Yes.
you have to compose your like your breath or whatever. That's exactly what it felt like, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna need that after this episode because I'm so mad at it. It's so bad. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so upset. It just, I don't understand. And now we're finding out that the next episode is supposed to be just a one episode thing. Really? The Masters 8 is gonna be in one episode. Oh my god. I am so over this series. I very much am. I'm trying to find something good for this episode. I was trying to like this episode. I went into this episode with an open mind, just trying to look for like the good things and the positives. And even like Pikachu here, I was just like, what are you doing, Ugruki? What are you doing? What are y'all doing? No. I'm not. like this. I don't like this at all. It's good to say. I'm trying so hard. Like, yeah, Greninja was cool, but at what cost? Like, I felt like it didn't feel like Greninja. It just felt like this, like I said, this final boss that you see at the end of a game. Like, oh, such big and strong, must defeat, you know? And why is this man still weed whacking after 6 years? I still don't understand that. And also, Uni-chan, just want to know that too. My goodness, I'm upset. I need to watch this episode again. I really don't want to. I'm gonna be completely honest, but just to have more thoughts to like share, I guess I need to. But I really don't want to, just because of how disrespected I just feel for this episode, and how I feel disrespected Ash Greninja got. It just and also, did they forget about Ash Greninja? Because they didn't even mention it.
Yeah, because like in the farewell, wasn't it just Ash Greninja when they left? But in the shot in the flashback, wasn't it just Greninja?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Oh my god. Okay, and the worst part of it all. This is what pissed me off the most. So you know how at the end of like X and Y, where like Ash leaves Greninja behind. You know that light, right?
Yeah.
That's like that, and then they show that here, again. That was so triggering. I was so upset when I saw that. I was like, that lighting. I hate it. I hate it here. I want to go home. Like, no! Why are we doing this? Why are we putting this light again to symbolize, yeah, so I'm done with you. I have no use for you anymore. I am going to go do my own thing. Good luck to whatever you're doing now. Like, even Ash's character here, I was just like, this is not Ash. Low key. Like, I appreciated the flashbacks and the little references they did to, like, their bond. But even that is not enough for me to say, like, oh, it was a good, like, return episode. Because, to be honest, I don't care. I really don't. I'm such a mixed bag for this entire thing. Like, I overall did not like this episode. But, like, in terms of, like, why, I'm still trying to, like, I have my reasons. It's just, I don't like this episode. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a hater. I really don't. I don't like hating on things. But I really didn't like this episode. Oh, okay.
And also, to those on Twitch, by the way, if you guys would like to, we have a poll going on right now. If you guys would like to vote on the poll, I really want to hear everybody's inputs in terms of the polls, if you guys enjoyed the episode or not. So if you have yet to vote, make sure to go and vote on it. So, but thank you, Emmy, for sharing your input on that.
No problem. I'm sad.
But yeah, so now I guess with that being said, Tyrone said he wanted to at least share a little bit of his first impressions on the episode. So Tyrone, if you happen to be there, I'm curious to know your take, at least first impressions wise, of this episode.
Jesus fucking Christ! First of all, I sent you a messenger on Twitter. I sent you a message on Twitter. Please,
Let me see.
Please look at it.
All right, hold on. Let me take a look at this.
Please look at it. Please. So for those of y'all who need context, if you watch Dragon Ball Z,
let me see if I can share this on the camera.
Yeah. I'll still explain it.
Yeah.
There's a scene in Dragon Ball Z where Goku allows for Gohan to fight Cell next in the Cell games because it's supposed to be an attempt to make Gohan stronger in the heat of battle so he can turn Super Saiyan 2. But Cell's like extremely stronger than Gohan, so it's just Cell beating the shit out of Gohan for like a long time. So someone put Greninja as Cell, and for Lucario as Gohan getting the shit punched out of him. And then it just shows Ash as Goku looking up with a smile on his face.
Ash and Greninja on the Sigma grind set like always, bro.
Alright. So before I get into what pretty much everybody's waiting for, I got 3 things I actually do like about the episode. The first thing I like is the music. The score was actually really good. Especially that random techno song that came out of pure fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
This random techno song that had nothing to do. And I love that they used the Yveltal and Xerneas theme for some reason. They were like, pop that in there. Let's pop all the music we got from the old days in here because we gotta justify it. And then the second thing I like Raihan's half of the story. His was actually interesting. I wish the episode was about him, but it's not. It's about Greninja for some reason.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Because this untrained Froakie evolved. That's why the episode started. It's because this Froakie that's had 3 episodes of screen time apparently has just been the strongest thing Go has ever got. I was so mad when Go was like, "Yay, Froakie!" I'm like, "Shut up! You didn't do anything. You didn't do a goddamn thing." Froakie
did something.
Yeah, Eevee trained your Froakie for you. This shit was stupid. The other thing I did like, in the flashback, Ash openly states that I got so focused on winning, we wound up getting into a fight. So even Journeys recognizes the message that X and Y was trying to spell out. It's a shame people who got mad at Greninja for fucking losing a dragon lizard couldn't understand that. It's a good thing Journeys understood it, so kudos to Journeys for actually realizing what the point of that was. I would say that, until we actually get into the episode. Mm-hmm. This felt like, for the past few weeks, it felt like Journeys has been desperately grasping at straws to get an intriguing story going. And the only way it can do that is to use X and Y as its fuel source. Please, this episode actually feels like a nice representation of Journeys. Lucario is Journeys, right? And Greninja is XY. A way better written story, a way better animated story, better looking, better character development overall. And Journeys is trying to desperately keep up. Meanwhile, X and Y is just dodging it without even without even breaking a sweat. It feels so much like that battle we saw with and I guess that's my other favorite thing, because I made a tweet on Raph's tweet. Because Raph made a tweet showing off the battle between Greninja and Lucario. So I put XY Ash, hey, did you train your Pokemon? And then I put Journey's Ash going, wait, did I what? And the video shows Greninja beating the shit out of Lucario. Like the dog shit. So I feel like Journeys' representation of how they've been using X and Y is a nice representation of what's happening right now. It's like, please, you had the better story. Teach us, please, please. Can we please use your elements? Can we please use your characters? Can we please use all of the things that made your show so great to make our show better? And meanwhile, X and Y is just like, sure, I guess, whatever. Like, if you have to. But you absolutely have to. Go ahead, Emmy. You were gonna say something?
No, I was gonna say, I'm like, yeah, I agree, but it's like, when you someone copies your homework? That's essentially what this is. Journeys copied XY's homework and did it poorly, and literally, yeah. Oh yeah,
definitely. They definitely took all the ingredients, but they didn't cook it all the way to the right temperature or the time. Like these are some sloppy cookies, bro. These are sloppy cookies.
Put in the toaster.
Yeah, it's very clear they so desperately tried to keep up with XY, but it also doesn't help that this episode looks like ass. Yeah. Like this episode looks like absolute ass. The animation is terrible in this episode. Yeah. Like, what in the fuck? And I think the worst part of it is that X and Y was praised for its animation. Like, above anything else, whether you liked X and Y or hated it, you could always admit that the animation for battles always looked pretty consistent. Like, pretty consistent. So, when you have Greninja fighting, we all have a solid mindset of what Greninja has, like, Greninja looks like when he fights. So when you see him fighting in this episode, it's like, ugh, why does this look ugly? Oh yeah, that's right, the last time we saw him fight, it looked gorgeous. So you see this and it's like, oh god, what even is this? And to top it all off, it feels rushed. It feels amazingly rushed. I don't know about you guys, but I felt it was rushed to shit. Like, there's this moment, I believe, where after the training if you can call it that, they literally run off, do big attacks on the vines, and the episode's over, and they play the da-na-na-na, da-da-da-na-na-na, and I'm like, wait, what happened? Wait, what? hold up, I blinked. This is over? And Greninja's like, I taught you everything I need to teach you. I'm like, what did you teach him? Did I miss it? Y'all were watching the same thing as me, right? I could have sworn all y'all did was stand in the kiddie pool for 5 seconds. Is that training? Is that the training you were talking about? I think the worst part about all is because Ash builds this up. And he's very hell-bent in building this up. Almost to, like Emmy said, an out-of-character way. He's so fixated on the idea that Greninja will fix everything. It's kind of jarring when it actually happens. He shows up, asks Lucario to a battle, and then it's very... It makes you just wonder. And they prop Greninja up. It's almost like the show needed you to already realize how good Greninja was and just take its word for it that this is what it is. So if you're a newcomer to the show, you end up looking clueless as Go. And again, this is another episode that has Go in the background going, oh, Ash is so cool. Oh my god. Oh my god, Ash is so damn cool. Like, I'm not exactly sure who this episode was for. Was it for the older fans? Was it for the newer fans? It definitely wasn't for the newer fans. It felt like this episode was an inside joke to a bunch of X and Y fans that, like, newcomers won't get. But it also felt like an insult, too, to XY fans. No Ash Greninja in the flashback. And people have been saying on Twitter, oh, that's probably because they're going to save him for later. Then don't make the fucking flashback then. Like, what? Don't make the flashback. Because at that point, you're making a flashback for nothing more than showing everybody, yo, this is what happened. Remember this? But we're not going to show all of it. We're just going to show some of the highlight parts. And then after that, it's just like, well, okay, well, if you're going to hide it from us, then that means you're using it for later. Then why even show the flashback? Just have Ash say, Greninja and I used to travel to Kalos together. Or at least show the flashback with Froakie, and then we can, like, pick up the pieces after that. It's very clear they're doing this, I guess, to build up something. But then that got all of Twitter going, ooh, I can't wait for Greninja to come back and maybe fighting the Masters 8. And I'm like, this isn't his show. It's supposed to be Lucario's. But so many eyes are on Greninja right now because, again, this is what happens when you take old stuff and bring it to the new. People stop paying attention to the new stuff. Everybody was so excited to see Greninja that Lucario almost feels like a pathetic afterthought in this episode. He's in the episode, and I barely care about him. All I know is that Lucario suddenly has a bug up his ass and wants to fight and wants to get stronger now. And yeah, he's shown signs of wanting to get stronger in bits and pieces, but it never felt so off and then on again. In other episodes, he's not like this. He just suddenly is now. In fact, the entire premise of this episode is Ash going, oh yeah, that's right, I need to train my Pokemon. Let's go do that. Let's go do the required training thing to make it show that I actually train my mons. That's right, yeah, let's fight outside. A lot of these episodes have been like this, where like Yamper suddenly became the guardian of the entire Sakuragi Garden. It almost feels like there's like 20 episodes of Journeys that happen in an outside layer that we don't get to see. And I don't know. It's a mess. It feels rushed. It feels like it's doing a lot of damage control, and it almost feels like it's trying to fix like it's trying to do this idea of fix X and Y shit too. And it bugs me. It all of it bugs me. It just feels like a big old bandage after the fact, and it's not helping Journeys or X and Y. It's just making itself look silly on both ends. Also, I do like that the eye catcher for the middle of the episode, since dark types are evil types, the moment we see Greninja on the eye catcher says water evil. That's funny. That's fucking hilarious. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts as of right now. Obviously, I'll elaborate on the pod when my head is more straight. But this, what was this? Who was this for?
Can I add something to what you said as well? And like, this is something like Nessa was telling me as well. And I honestly think this represents why I'm like very mad with this episode, is because they're acting like the bond phenomenon, I guess, in X and Y, and this battle bond, like the mega evolution thing, is the exact same thing. they really try to replicate it as the exact same thing when it's really not. It's completely different in my opinion.
Give them the benefit of the doubt. What Ash is saying here is that because Greninja and I fought as one, the only and the aura of Lucario gives off that same thing. I'm trying to replicate that in a sense. Not exactly to copy it, but to get more in sync with Lucario. But apparently they have such a great bond. Remember the bee fight when Leon kept saying that shit? But so I get the idea. The problem is that it's awkward, and it's especially awkward when Ash keeps going, Greninja and I fought as one. We had a special bond. We fought as one. Can we see the bond? No, you can't see the bond, idiot. Just take our word for it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sure. All right. You see how awkward it feels?
Yeah.
It feels like Ash is trying to tell us a big old secret. But you ever see like someone try to tell a secret, but they instead of not telling you the whole thing, they're telling you bits and pieces. It's like, then why bring it up? Why bring it up?
You're not gonna spill the whole tea. You're gonna only spill a drop. Don't bother.
Yeah, I got a secret about you and someone you may or may not like. Can you tell me? I'll never tell. Then why bring it up? Why bring it up? But yeah, that's my thoughts. Let the other people talk. In the pod, I will definitely elaborate, and this will be a headache for me later.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. But thank you for sharing your input, though, Tyrone. And
Yeah,
now knowing
definitely.
that this is just simply a glimpse towards like your take on this episode, I'm
Oh
kind
my
of curious
God.
now to see once having to rewatch this episode again, like how we genuinely feel about it.
It's a mess. And this is so sad because we're coming off the Serena thing, man.
Yeah. We can't have nice things.
Yeah. Go let the people talk. Let the people do the job. This is their time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So, Emmy, once again, I will leave this towards you, buddy, and for you
Yep.
to take care of the second act of our reaction night here by letting everybody here
Okay.
at least share their inputs on what they thought of this episode overall and see if anybody maybe feels a little different or shares similar opinions like what we've talked about tonight in this review tiny segment. So yeah, Emmy, I will pass this on to you, buddy. Take it away, and we'll speak again relatively soon. So yeah.
All right, guys. Okay, so we're gonna start bringing in some of the people from our Discord community. So first up, I'm going to bring in Ebo. I'm going to bring in Kuro. I'm going to bring in Joker. And let's pick Hyprov. You come in too. All right. Okay. Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
I'm so
Yeah.
mad.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
Joker, start us off. Go ahead.
This episode was shit. 0 out of 10. I hated this. This was absolutely terrible. They retconned Ash Greninja. They got rid of him.
Oh man.
Because damn Froakie evolved. What the hell was that? The pacing was terrible. They were playing in water for some fucking reason. I don't know why. I was so depressed watching this. I drank a whole 32-ounce thing of chocolate milk because I can't drink ketchup anymore because I'm banned. I was so upset. Now I'm drinking Coke Zero and I'm trying to forget this happened. I'm about to get
Joker.
a perfect game in Wii Sports.
Joker, there's far bigger problems than this.
favorite.
Joker, there's far bigger problems right now than this episode if you're drinking fucking ketchup.
Yeah.
This is I'm just so upset. Wapachi had a better episode than this. A damn corgi. What the hell? What is going on? What is going on in Japan and the J in writing room? I want to know.
Yes,
Anyway.
I want to talk.
0 out of 10. Down there with the rap episode. This shit was terrible.
Wow. Holy shit.
I feel like this is just the beginning of what. Yeah, this is the beginning. Thank you, Joker. I appreciate it.
Holy
You're welcome.
shit.
Evo, Kuro, Hyprov, who wants to go next?
Evo,
Kuro,
go next.
Go before me. Go
Me?
before me, Kuro.
Okay. Ah, shit. Here we go again. We couldn't have a
me.
4. We couldn't have a 4 for 4 now, could we, guys? Like, it was so good. Serena gave us soap, and now Greninja took us away. Anyways, so I like how in the beginning of the episode we see like, the news anchor on the TV because, well, Ash is the eye of the storm and, Raihan has the weather mechanics. It feels like a forecast thing. And, well, apparently Froakie evolved and Ash is like, I gotta see my Greninja. And I'm like, so if Mankey evolved, would you bring back Primeape? Is that the logic you're going for? Okay, whatever. And everyone is eating and Lucario is battle hungry. Because, they have this dynamic with Cinderace. Remember? I sure don't. They were just lost in Castilla in one episode. It's weird. Eevee trains Froakie. Go doesn't. Go is more happy for the data in the cell phone that, Froakie actually evolving. They go on a plane to Kalos and, they don't have the social distancing because they are sitting together. So there's that. Raihan and Hammerlock, that's great. We got to see a little more Raihan. I wish that this was his episode 2 because, sadly he has no build-up. And he has the weather shit, right? He has the sunstorm, the rainstorm, the sandstorm, and Journeys has a shitstorm. Music selection was nice, but we had no X, Y, and Z, so it feels weird. We have the mist before the vines, so they give me Xerneas vibes from the summer camp. The CGI on the vines does not translate well in X and Y. No, in Journeys, I mean. Like, it doesn't translate well. And, why are they here? And I'm like, guys, if Galactic Grunts return for E-Trend, they can say that Zero-Sick is on the loose. The police in the Pokemon world are absolute hassles. I just want for someone to do an edit of, look, I just want for someone to do an edit of, Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask, and Greninja's like, my job here is done, but it didn't do anything. Or when Lucario is like training with Greninja and he's stripping, someone put a ladybug there, please and thank you. Like, this is the Lucario that went toe-to-toe with a Mewtwo, and he's getting his ass whooped. Like, what the hell? Like, Greninja has his eyes closed, not squinted, feels weird. He's beating Lucario in the quote retweets with aerial ace, quote-unquote. That jump that he did reminded me of Olucha's jump in second gear, and I'm like, well, we saw the Talonflame and Sophocles, Ash battled Noivern and Drasna, he's battling Gudra with Raihan, so it feels like they want to address Kalos, and they want to fix Kalos, like, we're trying to fix X, Y, and Z. No, don't fix what's not broken. Like, Ash defeating Iris didn't fix Best Wishes. What makes you think that you are trying to fix Kalos? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. They try to,
Can I come in for literally 10 seconds?
Yeah, go for it, Tyrone. Go for it.
Someone said that the last opening didn't lie. Cinderace and Lucario did fight, and now we're looking at the Lucario and Cinderace opening fight versus how it looks in the back. Because their fight looked like the equivalent of smashing 2 action figures together.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, but we have the whole thing of, like, the ripple in the water, and I understand what Greninja is trying to tell Lucario. Like, it's basically, chill out. Don't use your power as, always. Use it only as an utmost necessity. But it feels like, how many times do you have to learn this lesson again? Like, you have a strong bond, so why does Lucario have to, learn this from every person that it's not Ash? It feels like Ash doesn't train his Pokemon, everyone else has to train his Pokemon for him, including his other Pokemon, so it's like, please believe us, they have a bond, Leon said so, they were born in a egg, Greninja is here, right? We have evidence, and I'm like, there is no one doing to Lucario what Ash couldn't do by himself, so it just devalues everyone, like what we're trying to do, like, putting, like, try to, wet their toes in the water, trying to stabilize the chakras or whatever, and we see the vines, and Greninja destroys the vines with Water Shuriken, but for some reason, after that, the same Water Shuriken grabs the vine, but they need the Mega Aura Sphere, and I'm like, so you contradict yourself, Journeys, like, you want to be this canon fanfiction, and you want the privilege of continuity without having their consequences, because you design a new flashback, but you don't put Ash Greninja, but you want to put Alain in that montage, and I know, Ash Greninja isn't a necessity to locate the vines. The power was necessary to unlock the ability to see the vines. It's not a need to actually locate it. We see this in the end with Squishy. Where is Squishy? I don't know. Maybe he's trying to, search for Xenius and Evoltal to fix this mess. And we don't see Battle Bond. Worst case scenario, they gamify it, but the Greninja defeated Bisharp, so it kind of needed to be there. Like, it just feels extremely weird. Like, because Greninja in Battle Bond, the cut is like a kunai, it's a gardening tool, but without Battle Bond, it's just a light streak. So they put the kunai in the flashback and the light streak when he's there, so like, you can't pick and choose what you want in terms of continuity. Either respect it or tarnish it. You cannot have this middle ground of trying to, butcher it for thumbnail bait, because that's what they're trying to do. Like, every flashback in Journeys, it's like, Best Wishes with Charizard, they reanimated this. This just feels like, thumbnail galore. I don't know what they were trying to do. Why is Greninja still cutting that shit? Is it because he has cut? Is he an HM slave? Like, poor dude. The screenplayer is the one that screenplayed the Serene episode, but they did that behind the scenes, and I believe that they wrote something, but the storyboarder fuck it over, the animators fuck it over, they didn't respect it, and now Lucario is in this, he doesn't Mega Evolve on a constant basis like Corrinus, so he has his muscles atrophied, and but it's me doing headcanons to heavy lift the narrative, because the narrative cannot heavy lift themselves. Like, I understand what they were trying to do. They want for Lucario to basically, hey, you can get power without transforming. They want to make Gohan Ultimate without going Super Saiyan 2. They want to muscle memory Lucario. And I'm like, so, will he Mega Evolve? Will he not? Will Ash play mind games with Raihan? Will they devalue B? Will they devalue more Karina? This is just a domino effect of random ass bullshit. 3 out of 10. They have no dissonance whatsoever. I don't know, man. I'm just so tired. I just want for Scarlet and Violet to show up.
Same.
Thank you, Kuro. Appreciation. I agree. 100%. Alright. Hyprov, if you want to go next?
Alright, fine. I guess I'll go ahead and say this. Did they think this was funny? Did they really think this was funny?
I don't know, man.
There were so many times in this episode that really made me recheck my eyes. Like, I needed to recheck my eyes. I needed to polish them. I needed to check my glasses. I wasn't dreaming. Greninja was base Greninja in the flashback, and I was going to say this right now. This is inconsistency. They were really inconsistent with Ash Greninja. He didn't even show up. Now, I'm not mad that Ash Greninja didn't show up. I'm just mad that that guy got retconned like crazy. Now I've seen people on Twitter say, "Oh, maybe they're saving Ash Greninja for later." That's no excuse. That's no excuse.
That's just bullshit. Like, you don't postpone or range check continuity. Like, that's just disrespect. Like, once you shit, you can unshit, and they shit it hard. Like, you don't need they don't need Ash Greninja to be present in the episode, but willingly not addressing it? Nah, you cannot pick and choose continuity. That's not how storytelling works.
Exactly. The writers had one job, and whoever directed X, Y, and Z, was it Tetsuya Yajima, or did he quit somewhere along the lines? Anyways, that director's coming for your behinds. That director's coming for your behinds. You mess with X, Y, and Z, you mess with the director, man. Oh, God. Animation, trash. Music, good in some ways. There were some good things in this episode, though. But that doesn't mean that it would save the episode for me. Ryan punching the wall, great. Taking a selfie afterwards, great. The reason why you start taking selfies, excellent. But it wasn't enough, man. I could not fathom the fact that they replaced Ash Greninja with base Greninja in those flashbacks. They basically messed with continuity, and I don't know how to feel about that. The positives contrast with negatives, and I don't know. This episode's been making me feel in between. And you know what? I bet people from Canada can write this episode better. I bet people from America can make this episode better. Or,
Oh no.
I don't know what I'm saying, man.
It's okay. I felt that too. It's
This
okay.
episode's mid. Pokemon Journeys,
What would you-
you're really pushing my buttons right now. You're really starting to press my buttons. I've tolerated you for so long right now, but I think we're starting to get to a point where I'm starting to lose it. You're really pushing my buttons now. 5 out of 10.
Damn. All right. Okay. Thank you, Hyprov. And last but not least, Evo. Go ahead.
I've got my popcorn.
Alright,
Let's go.
So all right. First of all, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Sound clear? Okay, good. I've been having this in and out recent thing, but okay. I have 3 ratings for this, but I just want to comment real quick how you guys just did half my job for me. I have the biggest smile on my face.
Wow, thank you.
Yep. All right, Kuro, you and I had a talk earlier about how I felt about this episode before I even got to watch it, so you get to hear that again.
Oh shit.
Yep. All right. So I have 3 ratings for this episode, and I'm going to be brief on the first 2. So the first one is the concept. I like the concept of this episode a lot. I really do. They had so much potential to make this one of the best episodes in Pokemon. I'll actually admit this for the execution part, which is my second part of the review, that the first half, you had me until the frames, and then after that, you lost me. Just everything about it, I don't even have to explain this. You did all my job for me. Like, a lot of this was just so dumb and unnecessary. Like, that first half really showed like how good it could have been until we got to Kalos, and then after that it was a train wreck. Like, I would have preferred had Ash and Go not even found Greninja, but Lucario had, and that would have changed the whole episode and made it better. But overall,
Yeah,
we
the
didn't
fact
get
that the fact that Ash can pinpoint the location of a roaming Pokemon, nah.
Yep, no. Okay, you could have just lost it and never found it, and
like,
we would have moved on.
It's as narrative convenient, like how Articuno being in Seafoam at that place, that time, everyone is there, and Articuno is willing to fight. What if he wasn't? Everyone would be a hunter.
Yep, and
yeah.
I that's just my first half of the review. Now let's get to the third part, and this is the one that makes me question. And like, for starters, how can this fandom give? Like, how could half the people in the fandom give this episode a 10 out of 10? Like, did you watch the same episode we all did? I don't think so. Because all it took was that frame, those frames, and they did the one thing I asked Journeys not to do. Because I was afraid when we got to the Serena episode, they were going to butcher and retcon and more shipping. And they didn't do that, luckily. But then we got to Greninja, and I already knew it was going to be a mediocre episode coming in, because I knew prior that the returns were going to be good, Greninja was going to be mid, and Paul was going to be bad. And then Greninja somehow went from mid to outside the frames, it was mid, but the frames in general, oh my god. So, yep, they retconned Ash Greninja. They did the one thing I asked Journeys not to do. They retconned it. You want to know how angry this makes me?
I don't know to which extent can it actually be considered a retcon, because like
the battle bond isn't retconned, but the form is retconned.
Yeah, it's I don't know how to feel about it. It's all weird. Again, they want the privilege of continuity, but they don't want to face their consequences. You cannot.
You want to know something?
You can't cherry pick this shit. That it's not how it works.
Where's Havoc against Ash Greninja anyways?
Who knows? But you want to know something right now? You want to know something?
I feel like an XYNT drew this episode. Like, I don't know. It feels like someone on Twitter went to OLM and they decided to know.
Journey showrunner, man. It is the Journey showrunner. That's what happened. So here's where I was going to make my big point. I had to sit through this probably 10 years ago with another show. And it was the show I've been trying to avoid comparisons, but I've noticed it, and I'm going to compare it again. Yep, Ben 10 Omniverse, the show that retconned a lot of Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. And you want to know why that makes me angry? Because Journeys had finally done it. They finally kicked the camel on its back, pretty much. Or however that phrase goes. Because here's the big thing. With Omniverse, they retconned the Plumber's Helpers and everything that they had and made them connected to this mutant thing or whatever from the original show. They did that. Now with Journeys, they just did that with Battle Bond entirely. So not only do they share like a big retcon iconicity of the newer era content, but they also disrespect previous series that Pokemon and Ben 10 whatever, they disrespect the shows prior just to go back to the more original basics of what's, for Pokemon's sake, OG to DP. They're trying to be more faithful to that while screwing over anything that's from Black and White onward. And which they've shown time and time again, they've done this. And
I mean,
I'm at my
OG to DP, it's more
Just
Kanto.
Sinnoh, mainly Sinnoh and Kanto.
It's Kanto and Sinnoh.
still there.
Johto and AG, they don't like they visit the
They just
regions, but
visit it, really.
they don't
But-
tackle much the lore. Good, don't mess with AG.
My point stands. They have a bias, and it's showing.
I mean,
And they're gonna keep butchering a lot of this.
I mean, Dawn had 8 episodes, but Go only has 1 Sinnoh Pokemon. The bias is, buy our toys. This is what the show is for.
Pretty much. Like
I'm a walking. What is being a character? I'm just a walking commercial. Please believe me. I did shit. I'm a precious blue net. Ooh, shut the fuck up, Dawn.
Yeah, pretty much. They just retcon everything hard, and I am disappointed in this series. Like, I have to deal with this for another 22 to 26 episodes. Like, that's as much time as we have, then we get to a new series. And then there's the disbelief that people think Greninja is going to return, and Ash is going to have this all-star team for Masters 8. Do you not see that opening? Do you not see the opening where Ash's current roster? They're not going to diminish them. They're going to be the team in Masters 8. I'm sorry, you think the returning Pokemon are going to come back for the finale? No, they're not. They're just there to show off. Like, are you serious? And not only that, I gotta talk about the Battle Ball thing real quick, because somebody mentioned this to me. This not only diminishes everything previous years have done, but look at what Lysander had tried to do. He tried to grab Ash and Greninja's Battle Bond to use it for his own power, which created the Zygarde thing in the first place. Which is how Greninja was partially, not fully, but partially why he was able to see Zygarde and all this crap. So you tell me that this is justified? You justify this?
And
You
Bonnie was
justify
and
Form
Bonnie
being
was
gone?
and Bonnie was the one that gave the form a name. So I guess that Bonnie was, delusional. Poor girl.
Yeah, see, like, this is I'm sorry, this is... I honestly, I didn't have a rating until today about how to feel about Journeys. I don't care if we have 20 episodes left, and I get that series like Johto are surrounded by filler, but when you have a series that retcons history of Pokemon into it, right, like in this situation, you are now considered the worst series because you don't retcon something. That is disrespectful, especially to all those like writers and directors who worked hard to tell their own stories. The fact that I had to go through this twice through both of my favorite franchises.
It's the exact same thing with Mewtwo. Like, we
Yep.
remembered Mewtwo. Ash, do you remember what's on the script?
See, this is why I consider Omniverse the worst series, because at least the reboot doesn't pull this shit. And now I see this with Journeys doing this shit to like a bunch of my favorite shows. I'm sorry, like, do you really think I'm gonna go ahead and sit through this again and not give you crap? Of course not. They follow the same exact pivotal points, and it really pisses me off. Like, I don't even have to give it a rating to tell you how angry I am about this episode. Like, the episode is mediocre at best, but those frames change so much of how I've gotten into Pokemon and how it makes me feel.
I continue to say when Zygarde told Greninja, you have a special power. It's cut, bro. It's the HM. Like, that's the special power of
Literally.
Greninja. Like, it's cut. Like, Night Slash, Surfetch has that. Like, it's cut, bro. Like, he's an HM slave. Like he's just a fucking gardener. Like, why do you think that the cut is kunais? They're gardening tools. Don't believe what Naruto said. They're not tossing weapons. They're gardening tools.
But all I have to say is, okay, look, you love Dawn, fine. You like the Volkner fight, fine. But you like this Greninja episode, despite how much it retcons XY. It retcons a huge pivotal event. And you're saying you gave this episode a 10 out of 10? I can respect your opinions, but that is kind of just wow.
If anything, it just makes it just makes Olympia's prophecy like bullshit. Like, so I guess that the Ash Greninja we saw behind Frogadier and XNY 93, like we were all on drugs. Like we were all on drugs. Like it was a collective consciousness. Like we were. It's a collective conscious of bullshit. Like we were all imagining this.
Also, I want to
This
say
is
this
all
real quick.
imagination. We were all tripping since X, Y, and Z.
And here's another
Oh my
thing as
God.
well.
Season
I wanna say
19
this
is
as well.
not
I see the-
season 19 is not canon, guys. Ash never lost Kalos.
X, Y, and Z
He never
is
even
not
he never
canon.
even
It was
battled
all a
Moltrick.
dream.
So to wrap up my review real quick, so I can give everybody else a chance to speak. I'm reading the chat. I don't think XY is some second coming of Christ. Why? That is so dumb. I don't know why people believe that. I'm sorry. No, XY is my favorite, but I don't see it as that. Like, I love Sun and Moon, and you can't say that people who love XY also love Sun and Moon. Like, that just doesn't exist. But my point being is that this is a retcon, and I despise Journeys. I'm ready for Scarlet and Violets. I am ready to get out of Journeys. I do not believe this is continuing forward for another year or so. That's so dumb. Overall, overall mediocre episode, but Journeys has now damaged things, and I fear for all of you Paul fans, particularly when they ruin his episode in a few weeks. All right.
Oh,
Emmy,
that's
you can
fine,
pass on
man.
next person. Bad episode. Well, bad situation for mediocre, whatever.
Did you give it a rating?
I'm done.
remember if you
I'm
did.
done with Journeys. I'm done.
Oh my gosh. All right. Okay, thank you guys for giving your thoughts. I'm gonna let the next members in. All right.
Welcome.
Okay. So we're gonna have no problem. So we're gonna have Ty. We're gonna have Bigboi. We're gonna have Felipe. Let me bring one more person into here as well.
Just to warn you guys, there's an ad playing. I'm not sure if it's just
Oh,
me.
is there?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't start until the. Tell me when it's done.
See ads. Good day.
Yeah, I see like 3 ads right now.
Okay.
I'm like, I would talk, but I don't want to ruin
Yeah,
anyone's
Yeah.
theme. I have a
Alright.
whole theme ready.
Hey, I got notes.
I
I
got
was like, okay, Emmy's got notes. I got notes.
no. I have a speech. I have an angry speech.
I have a Quizlet. I'm just kidding.
Quizlet. Oh yeah, that's
I have a Kahoot.
yeah.
Right.
Ooh, what's the pin?
Who wants to start first, though?
I guess I could start.
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead, Felipe.
Honestly,
Go for it.
why the effing we had to spend an entire episode on take your wannabe son to work day on the weed garden? Seriously, we spent the whole episode either sitting down playing in the water or fighting Team Flare's leftover garden. This Lucario had one job, to train on Squeed. Did we get any of that? Kinda, by playing with the water. So what did we even learn from this episode? Water makes aura spheres bigger, or water makes training pointless? I don't even know. The only thing I like about this episode, or this battle, was between the two. At least Lucario can be shown what happens when you don't effing take all your training to off-screen land. Seriously, why?
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm going to explode.
Oh my god, the sound mod!
Wait,
No!
you got pounds? Oh god.
Yeah, just one more after this, don't worry. And I'm giving this a negative 10 out of 10. Honestly, because XYZ was like my older brother's last Pokemon show he saw in his life. And this is really shameful. And I feel really bad right now. Redcon everywhere. Not only, the thing is with this episode though, not only that Journeys had to take itself down, which I guess fair, Black and White did the same thing, take it down. But it had to take it down, it had to take down other shows too, and that's what makes me really grinds my gears. So no, it does not start today. It does not start today. The journey does not start today. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh my god. Okay.
That was good.
Oh, what is this episode done? Oh my god.
Presentation.
Alright, next, Ty, you're talking. Go. Speak.
Yep, we're
Go.
going. Okay,
Yep.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for finally coming to the dark side and understanding that Journeys is garbaggio.
I like the last four. Those were pretty good.
The last four were great. Why can't we get more of that?
I just want to say that.
Look,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't mean to interrupt you, but I only mentioned that because the whole chat. Like, I think we're pretty fair. Not super fair and unbiased, but at least I think we're like somewhat fair because we did like the last four episodes. It has streak going. We got like Serena. We had the whole Yamper thing going on. It was all good, but then it eventually had to stop.
I just want to say it as well. Like, if anyone has like different opinions, like if you like the episode, that's 100% great. I'm happy for you. Like, tell me what you liked about the episode. I will hear you out. It's just I personally don't agree, and that's completely fine because everyone's allowed to have different opinions. It's all good. But yeah, go ahead, Ty. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I mean, I'm very mixed because there was elements that felt really nice. One of the big things is just like the training in the beginning. I was like, finally, we're how many episodes in and we're training? We're doing something, Ash? You're finally getting off your ass? But, I mean, just even the little moments, even with Pikachu and like Grookey doing whatever the fuck they were doing, it was cute. And I was like, these are things that we just need to see more. Just continue to push them, even if we're in like, depressing moments like this one. I mean, I've always hated Lucario, even when he was a Riolu. I mean, at first it started out pretty good, and then it went downhill from there because I never felt there was like a genuine bond there. There was like a genuine connection that made sense, and it felt rushed. It felt all over the place, and it's culminated into these moments. It's very like, here's where the glass finally breaks. And I thought and then the funniest moment of this entire episode is Greninja just kicking, beating, slapping Lucario the fuck around. It was just great. It was
amazing. Yeah.
I know you guys mentioned the whole Dragon Ball stuff, but it reminded me of Weesum hitting Beerus, but I don't think Tyrone likes Dragon Ball Super, so I won't mention it. Wait, I did. Shit.
Mention it again. Go for it. And that, I mean, I was just like, okay, thank you, the respect. I needed that there because Lucario needs to be humbled even more because it doesn't make any sense. And then, especially when he started running off like a bitch baby later on in the episode, and I'm like, take your L and leave it at that. Be like, okay, I got beat, but I'm gonna get back up and fight again, kind of thing. Because I mean, that's what Greninja's always done. And then Mega Evolution versus like the bond itself.
We didn't even get
bond
that.
Phenomenon. Like,
we didn't even get that. I wanted that.
The Mega, I've always thought, thinking Mega Evolution. Okay, it's this trial, this tribulation, and this is why like Bob Phenomenon was kind of elevated because it took what was established with Karina and her Mega Evolution journey, and just took it to the next level and made it a very thought-provoking journey. And here it's just like, it feels like Lucario's like this trust fund baby that just gets it all easy, gets it right the first time. And it didn't even have to be that Lucario, is, mega evolves and everything's fine and dandy. It could have, there's no trials or tribulations to any of it. There's no rock in a hard place with the bond between Ash and Lucario, and trying to equate that, it just feels so disrespectful. It's not on the same level, and that's why I felt like Bond Phenomenon should have shown up in this episode. We should have seen Ash Greninja, or at least that moment where Ash was commanding Greninja, and then Bond Phenomenon became a thing, and Ash Greninja came out. It would have definitely lit a fire under Lucario's ass a little bit, being like, okay, this is way stronger than what I'm doing. I need to work way more harder and give it actual effort. And then also, another thing, I was like, I hate the fact that Greninja didn't show much love or Ash. I mean, Ash didn't really say much to Greninja. It just,
what up? Teach my dog new tricks.
Yeah. Just
All right,
do,
see you
just do it
later,
for this one
Kermit. Go
time.
back to your weed garden.
Kermit. Oh my god.
Oh, I was just like, okay, the frog and the dog doing the do, and then the little lake moment. I thought that was kind of like reminiscent of the not the metronome like Pikachu was doing in the Olympia fight, and how Frogadier at the time was kind of anticipating attacks based off of that. I thought that was something that it was making a connection to.
That's very interesting.
Am I stretching it because of journeys? Possibly, but I'm trying to give it this little nugget of something.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm sticking with -10.
I'm
I
trying
can
to give it
appreciate that
something.
comment though, because that's actually pretty interesting.
I mean, I could give it a -9 out of 10 if they mention this again,
Oh my God.
like in the battle, like Lucario tries to do the whole water thing, but it'll just be slightly better.
It's something connected. I feel like it was something connected to pacing and not trying to burst into energy all at once. Because it is, I mean, Mega Evolution is a burst of energy. And then also one of my last notes are Lucario can go boom boom with big balls and big shuriken.
Yo.
So
Wow.
I don't know what the fuck
Oh my
the whole
gosh.
entire what is it, the aura sphere was. I was like, what is this shit? I know this is a spirit bomb, but what is this shit? It doesn't mean anything.
The spirit
Yeah.
bomb.
How do we get here? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And like, oh, this is another thing that's connected back to the Mega Evolution versus Bomb phenomenon, where it literally the Bomb phenomenon had nothing to do with the fact that there was a big ass shuriken and Greninja could throw that shit, chuck it like a fucking baseball bat. No, it's about the actual connection and the bond between you two. Like, it doesn't matter how many moves you throw out. It's about you two on the battlefield moving in sync, being one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
no, that's pretty much about it.
What would you
Based
rate
off
it?
everything, I think it's a 2 out of 10. And next episode, Gengar is getting jobbed.
Yep.
No, I believe in it, please. I don't want to play The Journey Starts Tomorrow again.
The journey's already dead, man.
The journey's ended yesterday. I don't know what to say anymore.
Fun fact, I put the sound effect right now when everyone was talking because I didn't think I didn't think I was gonna have time to set it all up, but yeah, I set it all up
Nice.
just
No,
for this
good
episode.
job. Good
Nice.
job. But thank you, Ty. I appreciate it. And last for this group is Bigboi. So go ahead.
Yeah. So one thing I found was really great was the part where Greninja is like slapping up Lucario. I love how everyone in the chat, how we were all like giving a standing ovation, we were all clapping, all celebrating.
Yeah.
I love that. Was like my favorite because like you're supposed to be like, oh my god, what's gonna happen to Lucario? But like Lucario isn't built up for us to care about it enough, so getting slapped up is like a good thing, which I find was really really
I
funny.
think Joker would have been happy if this was Grookey or Don, but
Yeah.
okay.
The whole episode, if the whole episode with just Lucario getting slapped by Greninja, I would have cried laughing. It would have been amazing. I have like mainly like I guess 3 issues mainly with this episode for real. My first one is kind of like the whole thing of like Lucario all of a sudden like being like upset and like not being in sync with Ash kind of came out of nowhere in my opinion, just because Lucario doesn't really have that much personality as a Pokemon. It's just kind of strong for the sake of being strong. And the whole thing about it like not listening to Ash kind of came out of nowhere because they're clearly trying to like do a parallel with like Greninja and Ash, so Lucario and Ash. But the issue is Froakie was like that ever since like the earlier episodes of XY. This goes way back. This isn't what he just got as like a Greninja. So Lucario kind of being that way was kind of forced in my opinion. The next one I thought was really really sad, and Felipe kind of said it also, but like it's really like when you think about it, it's really true. Felipe said, "Here, frog, teach my dog new tricks," and like it's true though, because Ash flies all the way to Kalos to kind of dump his Pokemon on Greninja to train. When it's like, do you remember in the episode of XY when it was a whole Ash and Greninja episode focused on their connection? where like Ash had to go back to his roots and do some introspection to realize, yo, this is why I started my journey in the first place. This is why we need to be on the same page. But now it's like Ash kind of just relies on other people to train his Pokemon for him. So
See,
now,
this is Ash's version of the daycare.
exactly. So it's like Ash, like people said it's going to be Ash's last series, but like if it is, this doesn't feel like an Ash story. It just feels like other people helping Ash for his own journey. And so it's just like to see them try to equate these two Pokemon feels very disingenuous, just because there is no real development of getting to know. You know, it's very forced to just be strong for the sake of being strong, and it's kind of sad to see.
Yeah,
But
we really was
besides,
Ash out of all of it too.
I think we
Yeah.
learned that Ash is, at this point, is just boom, making a bunch of noises and he'll win the battle.
exactly, and like I wish Ash was a much more active protagonist. You know what I mean? Like I wish he was actually the one to start off things and not having him always react to it. But besides that, you know, it's a standard Journeys episode. I'm a big XY Sun and Moon stan, so seeing Greninja again was like cool for like 3 seconds, and then afterwards like, oh, okay. So I mean, I guess maybe 6, 7 out of 10 for me.
They get my Ash Greninja theme.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Iku, no.
Now you
I
know
mean,
how
I
dumb-
would have been fine. I would have been fine without it.
No.
Obviously, for me, I feel like it's like it's a want rather than need, but at
Yeah.
least show the transformation. I don't care if you retcon the music.
Now you know how dub watchers feel. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. No? We all
Oh
on the
my
same
God.
page now. We good.
But yeah, thank you, Big Boy, for your input, and thank you guys for your input as well. So I'm gonna let the next group in. We have quite a few more speakers left, actually. So I'm going to let in Shadao. I'm gonna let in Ricksu, Muffinman, Red Dragon Emperor as well, and then we'll have our last group after it. So if you guys want to come in,
You okay if I speak first?
of course, go ahead.
All right, I got my notes ready.
Yes.
All right, so this is coming from someone who got back into journeys recently, and by that I mean like I got back around the time like the Serena episode was like coming out.
Mhm.
And like funny enough, like while Tyrone and KG was talking, I was messaging Joker and she mentioned that like this episode was on par with the rap episode. I'm like, oh, that sucks. So my thoughts on this episode now are different than like my live reaction of it in the VC, because like during the VC, like I was really enjoying some of the moments, which I'll go into. And like one of those moments was the training. That was fun. Also, like if I get like something wrong, then like y'all can like join the convo.
Of course.
So like, you know, seeing them train, that was fun. And then like Go's Froakie evolved into Frogadier, and Ash was like, oh hey, I have a Greninja. Hey Lucario, do you want to get trained? Like, I sure. And I'm thinking to myself, so like, if Go's Froakie never evolved, would Ash have not like had the idea of like having Lucario be trained by Greninja? I mean, like,
it was kind of a meme earlier in the Journeys that all of Go's Pokemon starts the plot for Journeys.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of did that again. Go's Pokemon start the plot.
And like, I'll go back into Lucario's training a little bit. So like, Ash was talking to Go, and like, Ash was like hyping up Froakie, like how, you know, his Greninja was like this badass, this legend. It's like, okay. And like, I really like the music during the whole episode. And then we got to the infamous, I guess, flashback with the Ash Greninja form not being shown. Now with this, I kind of have two theories. My first theory was that like the animators didn't really care, I guess, or like maybe they were told to like just not have Ash Greninja that form there like shown in general. We're probably never gonna find out. And then they get to the forest, and I don't think I've heard anyone say this, but like I thought the CGI vines, they looked ugly.
Oh no, they did.
Yeah.
Like, how did they look in X and Y? Wait a minute.
know they looked better. That's all.
It looked
Yeah,
like
like,
it was
you-
meant for X and Y. It doesn't look like it was meant for Journeys at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my problem wasn't like it was CGI. It's just like they looked ugly. Like I think they could have used like a bit more polish. And then like out of nowhere, Greninja shows up being a badass. Like we see Lucario just like struggling to get one of those vines, but like Greninja shows up doing a fight. Like actually, hey, let's fight. Like he doesn't really say. I mean, like yeah, he doesn't say hi to him, but like they just immediately get into a fight. And I might say this again later, but I think this whole entire arc could have been like 2 episodes instead of 1. But anyway, the fight happens. Lucario starts jobbing. Like Greninja is just bullying Lucario, and then like asks about the Mega. And then like Lucario tries to go in for a strike. I'm like, wait, he's not done with the Mega. And then like Greninja does like the whole Wii slap.
Mm-hmm.
Then Lucario just like runs away, and I'm like, what happened? And then after that, like Greninja's like, I'm gonna check on the doggy, alright. And then like this is how I dubbed it in my head. So like Greninja goes to Lucario, he's like, hey yo, sorry for beating your ass. It's okay. Alright, now let's go meditate. Like, I bet. And then like we see Pikachu wrestling Grookey, that was cute. And then like the vines come back and like Lucario and Greninja show up to help. And I enjoyed the Aura Spear like scene where like they charge up the Aura Spear and like Greninja charges up his Water Shuriken, though like in some spots the animation did look a little funky. And honestly, like this is something like I kind of thought about. It would have been interesting if like Lucario stayed with Greninja to train, and then like right before the PWC, like Ash comes back and like picks him up, kind of like what Charizard went through during Johto.
Mm-hmm.
And then like in my notes, the Raihan scenes, I thought they were interesting. It was cool like seeing him more, and I guess I mean like it's kind of weird that like his fight with Ash is gonna be like one episode. I think that itself could be like 2 episodes.
Definitely.
Yeah. And like this kind of like has me worried about the whole PWC because alright, so like correct me if I'm wrong, it's gonna be a tournament. It's not gonna be a whole thing where like Ash has to fight everyone 1v1, right?
Yes, it's a tournament. It's supposed to be an 8-man bracket, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think
Oh,
these
okay.
times, when you follow me, I'm like,
Alright.
Alright, did you give it a... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Wait. Alright, so like overall, like the episode for me now is kind of a mixed bag, and in a weird way, it didn't really seem important. I don't know, like I don't know how to word it. Like I don't know, just like I have a feeling that like I hope I'm wrong. That like later on in the series, like this episode wouldn't really feel like be mandatory unless like during the important fights, Lucario has like flashbacks to the time with Greninja. Though it was like super short. Like the whole training fell short in general. Where like they kind of like meditate, I guess, in the water. But overall, like honestly, I'm gonna give this a different rating. This episode is gonna get a Tyrone bitch slap out of 10.
Nice.
Not-
Great.
Interesting score.
I don't know. Just like I can imagine like Tyrone just like booking a flight, just bitch slapping someone. All right, moving on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Alright. Who wants to go next in this group right here?
I guess I go next.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I heard a point that from I think Bigboi about like Lucario being disobedient.
Yeah.
I remember Riolu having a disobedient moments when it was a Riolu. So Lucario being disobedient here in this episode isn't really that shocking to me because it was like this as a Riolu. So that's the one thing I want to point out. It wasn't that shocking when he disobeyed. The other is I don't like how Go, like Froakie evolved into Frogadier, and just like, oh yeah, by the way, it actually like, oh, all right, I got a freaking Greninja. Oh, that's right. Let's go to Kalos and find Greninja. Thanks, Go, for freaking evolving your Froakie into a Frogadier. Thank you, Go, for being a plot device. And also, I like the fact that Greninja just smoked Lucario and just like saying, yeah, you're the rookie here. I'm the expert here. I'm basically leagues ahead of you. It's kind of like saying like Greninja's passing the torch to Lucario and basically being like, it's your time to shine, kid. It's your time to shine. I'm done being the star of the show. There you go. There you go. Hit your torch. There you go. Have fun, Lucario. And also, Raihan. It's not surprising that Raihan can punch like a big dent in the wall and just really have like a dent in the wall. He just punched hard concrete. When you know how Pokemon has unbelievable feats. So it's like this ain't shocking for Raihan doing this. So that's not something that I'm like, wow, he made that big dent in the wall. Not surprised at all the stuff Ash does. I'm not surprised by that.
Well, yeah,
I'll say this. I go to like Smash tournaments, and at Smash tournaments, I'm not surprised that Raihan was able to punch a hole in the wall. I have seen real life people punch a hole in the wall. So
Oh my god.
when you're frustrated, it's possible.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying it's not when it comes to Pokemon and the humans doing unbelievable feats. It's not surprising that Raihan can just punch a wall when he's frustrated and he's able to not bleed. Another part is I don't like the fact that Greninja and Ash, they kind of, even though they still kept the bond, they have this strong bond with each other. It kind of felt, I don't know, distant to me. It felt a little distant. But I didn't really have a problem with that. In fact, I'm going to say something a little like different from everyone else. I didn't mind this episode. I just kind of indifferent by it. I'm kind of like, it was an okay episode. There's some things I liked about it, and there's some things that I kind of disliked about it. I'm going to say this. The best thing about the whole episode is Greninja beating the crap out of Lucario. It's probably the best moment of the whole episode. Everything else is like okay-ish. And Lucario doing that mega, like freaking Spirit Bomb, like Aura Spear, was probably the funniest thing ever because like it's freaking, like yeah, like I said before, Greninja passing the torch to Lucario. Other than that, I give it a 7 out of 10. It was an alright episode. Thank you.
All
So
right.
wait, I changed my rating.
Okay.
This episode gets a Joker gets drunk out of 10. All right, moving on.
Oh my god. All right. Okay, so we have a couple more speakers left. Muffinman, if you want to go next, and then we're gonna pass it to Shadao, and then Skyryan, and then we are. Oh, and then sorry, and then E2. Sorry, we have so many people. This one, my bad. Okay, Muffinman, go ahead.
Okay, I'll be quick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people have spoken. They've said kind of similar thoughts that I have. I was going to think I was one of the more generous ones until I forgot who said it, but someone here say they had to give it a 7 out of 10. They didn't think it was that bad, but I was going to give it I thought I was going to give it like a 5.5, because there was some stuff I did like. I did like the Raihan aspects. I did like the actual beginning portion. There's a lot of stuff I didn't like. I didn't like the retcon. I didn't like the reminder of Greninja being released. They played off that whole release scene in the last second. I really hated that. I get that it's supposed to be for a nostalgic thing, but that was the wrong thing to be nostalgic for. The things that we should have been nostalgic for, you retcon. So I didn't like that. I didn't really like the training aspect. I get what they were going for, but Oh, and I did like seeing Lucario lose. I like knowing that Greninja is still the top dog. But overall, yeah, episode 5.5, I don't like it. I do think Journey's really messed up with this one. Could have been better, but I'm done.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, honestly, the board across is just it's very much like I think the highest we had was 7, and that's about it. So overall, like the board across has been pretty sad with this episode and mid. So it's interesting to see. But thank you, Muffinman, for your input. Shadow, if you would like to go next.
Right. Now I might be considered an outlier of all that I've heard before. Heard of this episode because I watched this on live on midnight and sleeping, and the thing I looked into this episode is really what is the status was Ash's Greninja, because I'm not fond of what Bulbapedia says about Ash's Greninja status, because after goes Suicune, I think release has a very different term in the Pokemon anime, which is if Ash still has the Pokeball, if Ash could still call upon them like it was nothing, then it's not a release. He just put it somewhere else. You know? Same thing was good. The other thing I was looking for are really the story points that will move forward the story, which is why I pay attention to a lot of Rhydon and really what's going on with Ash in general.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed is that, yeah, the TV talks about Ash Ketchum a lot. And the thing I noticed is that Ash is not present to see himself on television. He's too busy training this. And I think this will play into a factor, or that I suspect one of the episodes was the Royal Battle Betrayal is going to explore, which is, I don't think Ash is aware of how far he's actually gone. And this episode seems to foreshadow it by the fact that he's not even paying attention to what's on television.
Yeah.
You know? One thing I also note about the whole Frogadier reminds Ash to go meet Greninja. I think it's a combination of two things that happened. It wasn't just simply, oh, he saw Frogadier and then got nostalgic over Greninja. It was like just before that, it was like Lucario is just eager to battle, Cinderace, and then you cut to Froakie also doing the same thing with Eevee. They're all fighting, trying to be better, and all this stuff. And keep in mind, Lucario, he's pretty much reminds me of Kanto Ash, as in so eager, so hot-headed, and trying to prove the world that he's the best, even though he's quite immature. Which is why I don't really have that much of an issue with Lucario. It just reminds me of a more immature Ash in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
And that's as well. Now with Rhydon, I really like that it really is an adaptation of the game, especially with that rare league card that says, yeah, he takes selfies to remind himself of the pain of losing, and oh boy, it's just like I thought to myself, he'll be a shadow archetype for Ash when it comes to losing, because this is clearly a guy who's I've heard a lot of Ash is a loser memes in the 2000s. Always he never wins a Pokemon League and all that stuff. And I think it's Rhydon is the logical deconstruction of that whole meme thing, As now getting back to the episode is one thing I did like was that when it's just how easy Ash could find Greninja. It's not like he has to find a map or anything. He just goes to Kalos and goes to the general location and just trusts on his instincts to find him. Relatively easy, if I have to say. Which is basically, and how do I say it? And it was and we see all the flashbacks of him talking about Greninja and all that stuff. And the thing I find interesting is the wordplay. Ash, I become Greninja, Greninja becomes me, and it was I felt like that was a double wordplay for newcomers and veterans. It's veterans would know this was referring to the Ash Greninja Battle Ball finale. For newcomers, it seems to be a battle aura thing. And I have to admit, I wasn't there to witness what was the people's reaction when Serena was not present with the was the Lemon sibling flashback. I looked at the image and it was like, yeah, was Chespin there? Yeah, Serena should have been with the group by then, and yet she's not there. You know, I don't know what was the reaction back then. I could have, though I heard it was a similar meltdown, and people saying, "Oh, the Journey's is erasing Serena out of existence and something." And then next week, turns out, no, she was there the whole time. And it was just like this whole surprise with Serena in that episode. It was a Sylveon thing. It just made me convinced that it means that no, what they did with the Greninja, the supposed retcon was a battle bond phenomenon. I say, yeah, it really does felt like they're hiding in Ash Greninja for something in the future because everything else is so well spot on to what happened there, from the designs, from the screenshots here and there, and then I look at what Journey's referenced before, even the more obscure parts, and it was like they even got the Serena's Eevee's tail to be the same as the male rather than retconning it to the heart-shaped female, which shows, great attention to detail. So it's like the fact that Ash Greninja is deliberately omitted, it makes me a bit curious. As in, I'm not going to defend it, but I'm just saying how do I put this? I find myself to be more of an investigator, like seeing what is for the future. They call me a speculator,
Honestly, I'm not sure Greninja is gonna come back, but if he does, then I guess that's a way they can bring that form back. But still, part of me kind of thinks that that form got omitted because a higher power told him to just not add it. I don't know.
Perhaps, but it's but for me, it's after that Serena episode being a total surprise, it's I can't really anticipate. I have to consider the possibilities of surprises, even hidden surprises. I've heard about leaks recently about who is in that Master 8. I'm not gonna say who it is, but it's it puts me in consideration of what's going to happen. But going on, it's the first act of Ash finding Greninja is very well built and all that stuff. Second act is a bit rushed in some ways, but I think I get the gist of what was Lucario's problem. Is that I noticed that Greninja isn't so much beating up Lucario as much as he's just dodging Lucario's attacks and just casually, like a ninja, just striking then dodging, and then Lucario, you see him get frustrated. He's just going back and forth, swinging all but missing. It comes across as, it reinforced my belief that Lucario represents a much more like a Kanto Ash or like a Johto Ash or a really hot-headed Ash, as a very full of energy but very stubborn and very reckless. And I think that's, looking at the water scene with the pool, the whole dripping motion, it reminds me of Kung Fu Panda with trying to pass the lead, a droplet of water gently to the pond in some ways, considering you have to really be in tune with it. And I think the key, I'm not sure what it is. I think we need to see the coming up episode, which I consider this one to be part 1 of the Raiden episode, because this is all built up to the Raiden episode. This is really just, how do I say whatever Lucario learned, it will have a major part into the Raiden episode. I just don't know what exactly is it, but it seems to be more of a being in tune and anticipating what Raiden's going to do. And when I think about it, is I also notice Raiden is very desperate. He sounds desperate, even though he's the strongest gym leader, and even though Ash is not yet at the caliber of legendary unbeatable trainer. It's he sounds like Ash is this unbeatable trainer, and he sounds very desperate and very reckless, and it comes across as, is it possible that the key to victory is exploiting Raiden's impulsive behavior and using it against him? I don't really know. I need to see the next week's episode. As well as to say with the whole Vine things and all that stuff. how to put this? I don't really have much feelings about it, other than the vine should be get rid of sooner or later. I guess that it's just a convenient way to keep Greninja off for now. But the thing I do like is the fact that Greninja can be called upon if Ash so choose to say it's not exactly like an actual release, like a Jesse's dust top. You know that's a release when she crushed the Pokeball. You know, but so it's what?
Sorry, no, I was gonna ask you like if like you have like a rating for the episode as well.
Well, let me wrap it up. It's like
of course.
It's so when Ash and Greninja say their goodbyes, it doesn't come across as really as big of a this is an awful moment like in the XY series, the second to last one, you know, because in that one you're not sure if Greninja will come back, but in this one you're given assurance. Oh yeah, he'll definitely come. Ash will definitely come back anytime he wants. It's like the Charizard situation. It's like, yeah, Charizard, like the first Charizard Valley thing was really a gut wrenching because you don't know if Charizard will come back, but then the next time he comes back and the next time it comes like, oh, never mind. Ash could call upon Charizard whenever he feels like it. You know, but I think I would give it a 7.5 or 8 if I have to be generous. That's why I said consider myself an outlier, because I'm not that. I try to not be emotionally invested into something that could cause me a lot of pain, because believe me, I've had a lot of franchises to do that, and I just learned to just observe it to where it's going and just not let my emotions blind me. I was a big XY fan, but I just want to. And I realized that a lot of my love for XY kind of made me a bit unable to really appreciate Sun and Moon for what it is in the follow-up, because I was so heavily invested in XY's art style, stories, and all that stuff. So, and it took me a while to like the Alola League for me to actually appreciate it for what it is, not what it could be.
Yep.
You know, and that's the philosophy I carry with it. So yeah, that's my review and analysis.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, and we have our last two speakers. Lily, I don't know who wants to go first. Skyryan, do you want to go first? No? Okay. ET22 Master, do you want to go?
I'll go.
Okay.
Well, they really said Ash Greninja who, that's crazy. That hurt, but aside from that, it's not that it was bad. It just could have been better. I don't know. I was excited for the weekend. I watched it with Bigboi X, and I told him like 2 days before. I was like, bro, what if they don't show the transformation? And I jinxed it, and I'm mad. But
wait, you jinxed it for us? Hello?
I apologize. Listen,
you jinxed Journeys. Hello?
I am sorry.
No.
Listen, I lost faith. And then the whole this doesn't make me hate the episode, but like, where was Zygarde? It's not a big issue for me. It's just perhaps we didn't see him. But like, it's not that big of a deal. But another thing is, Greninja Return wasn't bad. I liked it when Greninja, beat up Lucario. That was nice. But aside from that, it was just kind of whatever. I didn't really care for Lucario doing that big aura sphere. I don't know, it's kind of mediocre for me. I didn't... Yeah. Because at first I felt it, man. I saw the flashbacks, and then right when I didn't see the Ash Greninja thing, I started losing hope. And then, I don't know, like Bigboi said, Ash Greninja got the Tracy treatment, and that hurts. But, it's okay. Kind of. And... I feel like even if they didn't make a return, I feel like we should have at least gotten like the flashback of it, even if we didn't see it in the episode itself. I feel like that's the least you can do for something like that. And I don't know, it's probably because I don't really like Lucario that much.
That's fair. That's valid.
Kind of, I don't know. If people like that's fine. Just for me, it's just kind of, it's strong. That's just kind of it. I don't see the bond between Ash and him aside from them having aura. That's all. So I guess
Yeah.
maybe I'm just biased, but I don't think Greninja was handled bad. It's not like they nerfed him like they did in Fernape. Thank God. But it's kind of mediocre. You have like a 5 out of 10. It's kind of there. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's fine. All right, but thank you for your input. I appreciate it. And last but not least, Skyryan, go ahead.
Okay. From what I understand, had a lot of random reception. Anyways, the episode. Ash and Go were pretty prepared for the Rayhan showdown. Suddenly, Froakie evolved to Frogadier. And that totally reminds Ash of a familiar face. So they decide to go to Greninja's place. And by the way, the opening updated Froakie with Frogadier in the opening. And they've included and they're on a mission to find Greninja. Meanwhile, back in Galar, Rayhan really brooding for vengeance against Leon. Hitting the wall really is the symbol of his vengeance. Out there, and this new track from three new music tracks from Yuki Hayashi are really new. Anyways, about the story. For the flashbacks, it seems odd that they're trying not to spoil the Ash Greninja stuff. Because if they do, then they would ruin the surprise. And I really love it's very good to see Alain in the Journey's art style. And the Shinji Miyazaki tracks as well. Greninja comes in, the trip battle music plays.
Mm-hmm.
But for the vines, I really miss the CGI. Ever since Sun Moon, they use less CGI than ever. Anyways, back to the point.
Yeah.
I'm the intro, Ash's goal is to battle one of the world's greatest trainers, Leon. Go's goal is to catch any kind of Pokemon, including Mew. This is a story of their adventure-filled dream world of Pokemon. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Ash felt a presence. Greninja felt a presence. Be like, it's a familiar face I ever seen. And after Greninja cut off all the vines, that front face Greninja things creeped me out for a brief second.
What was your favorite parts and stuff of the episode?
My favorite part is all of them, including the showdown between Greninja and Lucario, and then these two stopping the vines.
Did you have a least favorite part as well, or no?
No. I'm sure hope one day Greninja is going to return, completing the mission that Squishy and Z2 are giving him.
Yeah. And how did you feel about the ending as well, and kind of leading into the next episode?
I was hyped. Yeah, it was hyped. This moment, in this Hall of Fame theme, clean, awesome, really brings me the excitement. And by the way, they used the Reshiram film in here.
Oh yeah.
In my headcanon, I think the Reshiram film is possibly canon to me. Anyways, and I really love Ash's Wishes theme here, and the Hall of
the
Fame
music was really cool.
I can't wait for the Rayhan and Ash showdown next week.
Yes. And what would you give the episode?
I'm giving it 10 million out of 10.
Interesting. So we do have some like positive like reviews in terms of like people who like the episode. So thank you for your input. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And that's no problem. No problem.
Guy,
But that's going to end our Discord community input. We had a lot of speakers today, so I appreciate everyone who came out and gave their opinion. I know it's difficult sometimes to even just come out here and just give your opinion because there's a lot of people, you know, who are just like viewing it and everything. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Regardless of what you said, what people's opinions were on the episode, we still appreciate your input. At the end of the day, we're all Pokemon fans, so it's nice to see what people have to say. We all come together as a community to watch it anyways, regardless if you're in the Discord or if you're on the Twitch chat. So thank you. Emmy thanks you. So yeah. I'm tired of talking, so KG, come back, please. If you're there.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah, there you are.
Hold on, I'll be right there.
All right.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I just moved myself so far away just to sound like I'm
I
far.
know.
But no. Thanks everybody for sharing your inputs though, peeps. It's nice to hear everybody had their take on the episode, but I think this might have been one of the longest, if not the longest one we've ever had for an input on a review. So
This is very long.
yeah. I was like, oh shoot, 2 hours and a half. I was like, God damn, you guys are breaking it this time. But we're getting more and more people coming through, so that's always great to hear. Great to see more people coming to at least listen to what others have to say too. It kind of feels like the same length, yet somehow didn't Aqua Sakura for some odd reason. I went to check past streams, like the other ones are normally like at like 150 to 2 hours. But like this one is almost 2 hours and a half, so it did go by just a little bit further there. So yeah, it was great to see everybody had shared their inputs here. Thanks everybody for sharing what you had to say on that. And overall, I'm glad everyone had a good time. So that's the only important thing. I'm glad people, despite what people had to think about the episode, whether they enjoyed it or not, were at least able to contribute their takes on just what they thought of it overall. And yeah, what do you say we go and call it a night then, everybody? Of course, as you guys already know, tomorrow and on Sundays, we won't really be doing anything here. So make sure to go and support my other homies that are going to be streaming those days. Tyrone, TSS, Terrell. Make sure to check out their streams throughout the weekend. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Wonderful Saturday, Sunday. Make sure you guys keep it safe. Have a good time. Thanks, Sammy, once again for taking care of the second portion of the stream. Much appreciated on that, too. So just fun all around. But yeah, I hope to hear from all of you guys real soon. Next week's episode is looking to be a doozy because it is going to be the big fight that we're expecting to see go down, which is the Raihan versus Satoshi fight. How will that episode turn out? We'll just have to wait and find out.
Hello everyone, Go here. Thanks for watching the Pokemon Post-Discussion episode. If you want to see more episodes, then subscribe to our YouTube channel to not miss out on a new episode. As always, the future's in the palm of your hand. And happy monstering!